Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today, and I have a video here to review Lego City Undercover, the game that I've always wanted to play, and I finally went ahead and played enough of it to finally beat the story mode. I haven't completed the game, no 100% or anything like that, but Lego games I'm kind of willing to do that, so I may go back and do this every once in a while and work on that. Anyway, I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch version, even though this came out in 2013 exclusively on the Wii U. I did not have a Wii U. I was like a lot of people and thought it was just an addition to the console. This game, when it came out, was how I found out that the Wii U was not just an additional gamepad thing to the traditional Wii, that it was a whole new console. And everybody was saying the same thing. Nobody knew that back in the day. It was just a problem with the marketing in general. But anyway, I've always wanted to play this game. I love cop movies. I love undercover cop movies and stuff. TV shows, all of that kind of thing. And this game was based on not just being a Lego IP, it was kind of their own original first game they ever put out, as far as I remember, aside from like the olden days before Star Wars Lego and whatnot, where they had like Lego Soccer and Lego Racers I never knew about, even though I played the soccer game. It was one of my first PS2 games. I loved Lego growing up, not just the toys, but the games too. Again, Lego Star Wars, dude, people do not realize, unless you were there, you do not know how big that game was, how massive it was. It was bigger than the second one that was based on the original trilogy, right? I love the first Lego Star Wars. I played the hell out of it. And I've played so much of it as a kid. It's one of the only games I ever 100%ed. So finding out that a kid like me at the time, a teen like me at the time, who was a massive fan of Grand Theft Auto, that we were going to get a Lego game that, yeah, it's kind of aimed towards kids, but there's so many movie references in here that kids would never get, whether it be Dirty Harry, Die Hard, whatever. Schwarzenegger jokes with a character that's literally might as well be Schwarzenegger in name. He's making all these quotes from his best lines and stuff. Like "Get to the choppa," I think is one of the ones they keep saying. People don't realize how awesome this sounded. And if I do remember, this may have been the first ever, like, open world Lego game, and it was at a time we didn't really have a ton of that outside of GTA and Oblivion, Elder Scrolls, whatever. For video games, at least. Games like this and GTA and Oblivion and Skyrim all kind of pushed companies to start doing more open world stuff, and it ruined many a game series and franchises, but still, I wanted to play this so bad. And when the Nintendo Switch came out, this was the reason that I bought that Switch console. Because I was so excited that they were re-releasing this, they were remastering it, and I was totally down for it. Grabbed it up immediately, because I wanted to Switch anyway, but this was like the go-to game that I grabbed around the time that I got my Switch. And I'm not gonna lie, it's everything that I wanted it to be, despite a few nitpicks that I gotta get into. With how large scale this game is, it's not overwhelming, so kids can get in there, they can have a great time. The scale of it ranges from obviously the police department you're in as an undercover cop. I'll get into the story in a second. Basically, you start out in the city, and you can also drive off into like the country and stuff. Like there's opportunities to go to space in this game because of transporters, like dimensional transporters and whatnot. It's a very goofy game. It has a little bit of sci-fi in there sometimes, but not too much to wreck the overall GTA feel of the game. But essentially you play as a guy named Chase McCain, who is trying to, as an undercover cop, work around the city and whatnot in his police department to try to bust this major criminal. I think he escaped from prison, if I remember correctly, because the DS game, or the 3DS game, is a prequel to this game, and I played that back when these games came out back in the day. And I liked that one, it's just not as good, you know? It's not what this game looked like, felt like, sounded like. That prequel 3DS or DS game just, it was okay. it was above average, but not by much. It was good for a DS game, right? This is what you actually want to play. And this is, I believe Rex Fury gets out of jail because in that prequel game, he goes to jail at the end of it, if I remember correctly. So anyway, he gets out of jail or whatever, and you got to go track him down. And you do a typical story mode to get there. And you have little friends on the side, like other police officers and your chief and whatnot. The jokes and the quotes and all of that are so freaking funny, dude. there's just so much to do in here, dude. I looked online, and apparently the general glance I saw, it took some people like 65 hours or so to complete everything in here and 100% the game. So that's another reason why I just wanted to play the story, do a couple of little side things here and there, and then kind of, drop out and say I'm done for now, and kind of jump back in every once in a while. There's so much to do. There's so many abilities to unlock that you can do, so many costumes and whatnot, even though you can't, like, customize your character as far as I know, because, again, there's so much in here, maybe that's an option somewhere. But, like, even down to the driving, right? The cars in here, the sad thing is they don't really go so fast. They all have, like, nitrous oxide built into them for some reason. But, like, if you hit another car, eventually your car starts to fall apart and, like, blow up. You can't really die in this game either, by the way. But your cars aren't really that fast. They're a little bit too slow, in my opinion, and they're kind of just a start and go situation. They don't really slowly increase like something like GTA Mastered. And it's a kid's game. It doesn't have to do that. But it's like, that would have been nice. Because you put all these details, especially in this remastered version for the Switch, where, the detailing is it's insane. Whether it be, just like the locations, the settings, the skybox, all of that stuff. Dude, everything looks so damn good in the game. Think about how, like, when you played San Andreas back in the day, and you would just go to places like out in the woods looking for Bigfoot, or like out on the beach, near the pier and stuff. And you just went out there and you just hung around if you were a kid playing the game or a teenager playing the game, just taking in that environment, that atmosphere to it. That's what you can do with this game because of how insanely built this game is, in a beautiful way, in a really pretty way. I love it, man. There's not much out there like this for kids. And if I was a kid when this came out, I was a teenager, but if I was a kid when this came out, I would have freaked. I would have played the shit out of this game so much. Visually, again, it's just stunning. I wish they had guns in here because we're doing the whole police thing. They didn't have to be anything more than cartoonish and stuff. But like, you have laser guns in here when you put on like your astronaut disguise and whatnot. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes I notice when you get too close to somebody, when you have a fight with somebody, that you kind of just end up punching people instead of using your actual weapon. And that kind of sucks, But the disguises and whatever are kind of, they're kind of hit or miss with me, to be honest with you. But I would like to go back again, like I said, and kind of check out the other environments and see, like, just how everything else works. Like, how everything else, how you could use your newer abilities once you complete the game to do all these other things out and again, like the woods and stuff, those locations, just to see how to get higher and higher in trees and whatever. You know what I mean? There's so much that you can do in this. And it's been so long as I've played through this kind of pretty slowly that I don't really know what all I've missed because there's so much in here, like I said. But the missions and whatnot, they kind of get repetitive. That's the only thing to it with the story mode stuff. The rest of the world I could see boring somebody who's not into this and not into like Lego games and cop parodies and all that. So it may not be for all of you. But dude, if anybody out there thought this looked awesome back in the day and you didn't get it, dude, buy this. Buy this for the Switch if you can still get your hands on it. Switch games are kind of hard to come by when they're really popular. But this being a re-release, I can't see it being that hard to come by. But the music is fun. I like how they do like this funky 70s theme song that kind of plays all the time during the game, like in the loading screens and stuff. That's another thing too. Some of the loading screens are kind of painful. But this game, like, they'll be up there for so long, man. It could take like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, sometimes up to 3 minutes. I don't know why. Maybe it's my Switch being old now. To load certain situations, whether it be new missions, whether it be certain locations. It's just something to keep in your mind. But outside of that, I really love Lego City Undercover. It's still not my favorite Lego game, but it's probably in my top 5, man. I love the original Lego Star Wars. Personally, I think, despite being a massive Star Wars fan, I think I like this more than Skywalker Saga. And I didn't like any of the story mode reenactments of Skywalker Saga. I just loved the world and all the details and stuff. And I played that on Switch as well, too. And it was gloriously beautiful. It really was for a Switch game. But I think I enjoyed this overall more because of the story, because of all the jokes, what they're actually doing here that was actually funny, unlike Skywalker Saga. But yeah, that's just my opinion, dude. This came out at a time that kids didn't have stuff like this as much. And I know most kids were like me and playing GTA and playing Oblivion and stuff. This was like the nice Christian alternative to kids who were not allowed to play those other things. So it came out at a time that people needed it. But man, this is such a good one. This is such a good one, dude. And I'm sad that it doesn't get the praise that it deserves as much now. I mean, it's been over, 12 years now since the thing came out? But even when it came out, I remember people not talking about it enough. The way it looked like it deserved to me. So anyway, I would love to hear what you all have to say about Lego City Undercover down below. Is this your favorite Lego game ever? If somebody said that to me, even though it's not my pick, I could totally respect that because of how insanely just awesome it is. What an underrated game, man. Seriously. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about it down below. What's your favorite joke? What's your favorite character? Because there's so many in here, dude. Even the love interest is a fun character in here. I just want to hear everything everybody has to say. What your favorite moment was in the game. So on and so on. So anyway, thank you guys. God bless you all. Catch you later. And goodbye.